Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Nice to have you today again on our Power Hub Saturday episode 3. We are very, very happy to have you here today. And as we promised you that we are coming again today, this Saturday, to bring you some interesting stuff in Power BI and Power Platform. So we are here again with with one of our guru, right? This guy is a guru when it comes to data analytics and is very, very good. He has been working for MTNs for years, and then he have a lot of experience when it comes to visualizing data. So, and we see the gap that most people actually, the problem that most people have reporting is actually visualization, right? Some people don't even see any problem with DAX. They can write their DAX very easy. They can do their data modeling very easy. They can do a lot of things very fast. But when it comes to data visualization, a lot of people find it difficult visualizing their data, right? Maybe you don't know the right chart to use. We are thinking in your head, which chart should I use? Which of this is the best for me to use and the likes, right? So that is why we have this session for you today on visualizing data, best practice in visualization in Power BI, right? So basically, I'm just going to introduce our slide, then I'll continue from there. Let me bring the slide up now. Let me bring the slide up so we can host the slide. Right. Okay. All right. So welcome to Power Up Saturday. Like I said, this is episode 3, and this is Power BI visualization best practice, right? So basically today I'm here today with Bolaji Idowu. So he's one of an analyst in MTN Nigeria, and he's very good when it comes to visualizing data. He's going to introduce himself very soon. But let me just introduce the session to you. This is Power Up Saturday, episode 3. And then this is the host of the group, Nigeria Power Platform or your user group. We normally host this twice in a month. We host this twice in a month, right? And we are bringing another to you very soon. And this is another edition of Power Up Saturday. And this is episode 3. Okay, so this is our speaker today, Bolaji Idowu, who is going to speak on Power BI visualization best practice. And then we are starting now. So it's live now. So this is the topic. In case you don't know the topic, Power BI visualization best practice is the topic. So Bolaji will be coming up in less than 1 minute to show us some beautiful things about Power BI. And you're going to see some beautiful dashboard in Power BI as well. Okay, so this is myself, Dewale Yusuf. I'm a business intelligence analyst and trainer at D Brand Consulting. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I lead the Nigeria Power Platform user group. I'm a leader, and I also host and moderate MCT West African Virtual Series. So if you're an old MCT or new MCT, you should be glad that you joined the MCT community so that we can see a lot of things together in West Africa Virtual Series for MCT. So I would like to hand over to Bolaji right now. So Bolaji, are you on the call? Can you say hi to our people? If you are there, Bolaji.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Bolaji. Your voice is a bit slow. You can increase your voice, and even if you can show your video so we can see you, or share your slide as well.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if I am in the most comfortable place at the moment. I had to find a very, very lovely place for us. Can we all hear me?
Yes, I can, but you can be a little bit louder if you can.
I think
so. You are live now. We can see you.
Okay, so you can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can.
Is it loud enough?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So is it my turn now?
Yes, you can. You can share your slide now.
Okay, just a moment, 1 minute.
Sharing your slide to people and tell us about yourself, your experience in Power BI and the likes.
Okay, just a moment. My desktop.
Okay, guys, you can also make use of Q&A section in case you have any question for our speaker, always make use of Q&A section. Make use of Q&A section. The Q&A section is open right now. If you have any question to ask myself or Bolaji, you can. So continue, Mr. Bolaji.
Can you see my screen, Wally?
Yes, your screen is coming up because yes, you have to press time to start your slideshow.
I can hardly hear you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can, but you have not pressed F5 to start the slideshow. You have to start the slideshow. Okay, so we can see it now.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bolaji. Visualization, reporting, Power BI is one of those things you just need to do to be able to pass messages across to people, get things done at the right way to be done. You know, a lot of the times we all have to send reports to those big boss, that's person, that's GM, that's meeting, and you have people who need to read, people who need to see what is going on. Can you still see my screen, Raleigh?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so one of the things we needed is the fact that we need to be able to present this data in a way that it is acceptable to everyone, both those who are professionals in it and those who are just coming. One of the things my manager says oftentimes is that you should make your report so simple enough that even the least experienced person should be able to understand. So welcome to this small 1 hour session. I hope we'll be able to come in, finish as much as we can, but if not, the little we are able to do within this short time, I'm sure that we'll all enjoy it. You can use the question and answer session to be able to ask your questions. We'll try and wrap up between now and the next 30-45 minutes so that we can have some few minutes to take questions. My name is Bolaji, like you've been told. Don't mind Wally, he kept saying something like, it's been several experiences and that. Don't mind Wally. Wally is one of our guys. But all the same, welcome. So what are we looking at? We're looking at some of the best practices, some of the things we need to do well and right for our visualizations, for our reports to be presentable to everyone, including those who know nothing about what you're saying or what you're doing. I know a lot of us knows about some of the things we do. You know about how to use graphs, how to use bar charts, and all of those things. But there are some simple things we need to do right. And in this case, we'll be looking at 4 basic presentation types. I call this Dr. CC. What do I mean? I mean DRCC. By DRCC, it makes it easier. You know, those days when we're in school, we use mnemonics. So we're looking at distribution, relationship, composition, and comparison. You can actually arrange it how you best wanted it. So we're looking at what do you do if you needed to, if you have data and you need to present it and it's coming up in any of this nature. Like if you want to compare values now, you want to compare between this value and that value, what are the best presentation mechanisms? You can use your column chart, your bar chart, your circular area, your lines, scattered plots, even your bullets. When we'll get into it, I hope we'll be able to finish all of this within this small time we have. Okay, like you have a composition of data. You want to show individuality, how each individual makes up the whole, like how each individual data makes up a whole. You have a pool of data, what's the value of each individual. You can use something like stacked bar, you can use stacked column, you can use your areas, your waterfalls. One of the other things that is mostly used, often used by a lot of people here, is the pie chart. It's one of the things we'll talk about. Is it the best of thing to use? Is it not? Is it does it have some little challenges? We'll look into that as we go on. Or you're looking at distribution. By distribution, I'm saying it helps you to understand outliers. Okay, you have a group of data, but there are some that are standing outside the group. So if you want to know which ones, understand those outliers, the tendencies, the range of information in those values, you can use your scattered plots, your lines, your columns, your bar. Or you want to analyze trends in data sets, or it's not part of what I had here anyway, but you want to look at trends. How often does this happen? What period of time does it change? And others, you use your lines, your dual axis line or column. Hello, Wale, can you still hear me clearly? Hello? Hello, Ali.
Please continue, Balaji. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I just want to be sure that I'm not alone. Okay, and then if you want to understand relationship between value set, that's where I come about relationship. You know what relationship means? What is the relationship between this person and that person, A and B? Like we always have in our secondary school days, X and Y axis. If you want to show how something positively or negatively affects one another or has no effect on another variables, you can use things like scatter plots, your bubbles, even your lines as well. So we're going to be looking at how to select some of the right when you have all of these things, and some of which I've explained earlier on. If you look at what I have here, this was a chart by Dr. Andrew Bella that helps you to be able to select the right chart. These selection diagrams simply explain what I have said earlier on. You know, when I was talking about comparison, composition, relationship, distribution, you can see from my charts here, if you can see the comparison, it was telling us if you want to do comparison between data, what are the best set of charts to use. You can see your variable width column chart. You can use your table as well. Our bar chart, which is our horizontal charts, our column charts, our circular charts, line charts. Like I've explained earlier, I don't know if anybody is interested in this. I can simply send it across to Wally and then we can make it across to a few people. If you want to do your relationship, like I said earlier, or distribution, composition, this chart, this diagram simply gives you like a central overview of where to find yourself or what is best to use at any point in time you want to select a particular chart. Let's move forward because of little time that we have, so that we don't spend the time looking at some few things without moving forward. Now let's look, when do you use your tables? A lot of the times, most of the things we do is you want to compare A and B. A is equal to B. You want to be able to show expressly this and that. So it helps you to be able to use when to be able to use your table. Let me show you something. If you need to compare values or look up individual values, if you require precise values, or you want your values to involve multiple units of measure, you want your data to communicate quantitative information. Now, by quantitative information here, we're looking at how much of this is in this, not trends. You know, by trend, you are saying that how often does this change? Table might not be able to give you the best of option when you are looking at trend, but in the case where you're looking at volume, you're looking at count, number of something, number of people in a particular place, X to the place itself. So okay, you have Lagos 1,000 people, Ibadan 1,000 people, New York City 10,000. You want to compare two variables or individual values, your table comes very, very useful for you in that sense. Well, when do you use your other variables like your charts? Like you want to use your column charts, your bar charts, your areas and others. Your charts are used for presentations when you want to convey a message that is contained in the shape of a data. Or let's say you want to be able to say this is moving across a regressive, progressive line, or other things like that. It helps you to show relationship between many values. Like you want to show relationship between how a particular data and some other variables changes. If you're having more than many variables, not like table where you want to show A or B, if you're having multiple variables, your chart comes into use. If you want to show the rate of change, sudden drop in temperature, it's best to use a chart. Or you want to be able to show how a change slopes across a particular range, it's best to use your chart. And one of the first charts we use basically is your column chart. You know, column chart is well, let me show you some of the things we have here. Just a moment. I don't know if I show you samples of some of the tables. Now this is some of the tables I had sometimes ago. You want to show, like you want to show a report. This simple report simply shows sales against revenue month to date or month-on-month variance changes. You can see quite a lot that this is it has just like three variables you are comparing. So that's where your column chart, your table comes in. Now let's quickly go to column chart like we were talking about earlier on. Now look at this. So column chart simply, if you're comparing multiple variables, You have more than one variable, more than 2, 3, you're having as much as up to 5, 6 variables. Your column chart is probably the most suitable for that. It helps you to compare values of different categories, changes over a period of time, even for a single category. Let's look at some of the things that let me show you two different column charts here. Here is one. Here is another column chart. Well, you would see that they are both beautiful, right? But I'll tell you something. With column charts, one of the things you need to understand is the fact that too much of colors in chart presentation causes a lot of issues. So look at this, it's quite simple. An average person can see it starting from your zero axis. You can see that from here, the value of this for North Central is from 0 to 5 billion. You can also see that for Northwest, coming from 0 to 3.2 billion. So we're having different comparisons for different years. 2015 is up, you're having 2014 below. And that's quite clear, an average person can see. But if you come to this place, one of the differences you see here is the color, too much of colors in it. So one of the things you need to be careful of when you are presenting your charts is you need to look out for colors. Please do not put too much of colors. Fine, sometimes you want to be able to make it look very fanciful, very beautiful, but oftentimes colors turn some people off. And then for people who are color blind, they might not be able to ascertain, oh, what is he saying here? It makes the chart look too troublesome. It doesn't make it look fine and simple enough. So let's be careful with color unnecessarily when we are trying to use column charts. Let's move forward. We want to use bar charts. Bar charts are essentially horizontal column charts. You know your column chart comes vertically from up to down, but bar chart comes from one side to the other side, left to right. It's also very good if you have long categories of names. It's best to use bar charts because they give more space for long text. You should also use bar charts instead of column charts when the number of categories is greater than 7 but no more than 15. So what are we saying? Let me show you something. Okay, here is our bar chart. Now here, look at for North Central. Let's look at the difference. In column chart, it was going from up down or down up as it were, but in bar chart, you can see it's sloping from right to left. So our axis changed, where you have the values of your amount of money standing horizontally and vertically. It's now standing horizontally, but you still get the same results. So it's moving from left to right, showing you different values. So you can see different years. As the legend shows, 2015 is here. You can see 2014 here as well. So what bar chart gives you is it makes it go slopes from left to right. Then another thing is a typical bar chart for visitors would make traffic to, like, if you have a website you run, or you want to present a sales report for people, and then you might need to put a lot of names. There are instances. Okay, let's look at this. For example, you have several reports here. Now you're having region. I'm having the sales here. I'm having a particular. All these are across a particular region, but I'm displaying different items. So here I have copier sales. Here I have parts. Next, I'm looking at printer sales. Next, I'm looking at service plan, all on the same horizontal plane. And I want to be able to present this for someone. So you can simply look at it and say, oh, Northeast, within the period, a particular period, from they had sales of 2.2 million, but they had about 11.82%. And we are still presenting for that same Northeast, showing us we have as much as 8.74% for the number of parts they sold. So bar chart simply gives you that horizontal presentation that makes it very, very interesting. Now let's look at the difference we have here. This is another bar chart. Here is a bar chart, and then this is also another bar chart. Now what is the difference you have here? Almost the same thing, but colors again. So we need to be careful of how we design. We want to design. You want to make it very fanciful. You want to be able to your managers, your GM, your senior managers is going for a board meeting, and then you have presented.
Hello,
okay.
So people
Okay.
complain they can't see the Power BI very well. Can you minimize your visualization and also your field?
Okay. Okay.
Just minimize your visualization and your field to your right so we can see the visual clearly.
Just a moment.
Okay, yeah, so please continue if that is causing error to your report. Just your
No.
visualization and your field to your right.
Just a moment. I think I'm able to. Is it better now?
Yeah, it is. So you can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better. You can continue.
Okay. So what was I saying? I was talking about the fact that there are bad charts. You can have good bad charts as well. And so if you have to keep using a lot of colors, it gives you that very bad presentation, and it makes your presentation a bit very awkward. Let's go forward because we are simply running out of time. Let's look at lines. So when do you use line? Who doesn't know line? You know, those things you draw in our secondary school days or primary school. You just take a chalk or a pen and then you represent something. Like somebody was saying that back in the days before we get into the eras of having data presentation, data visualization and others, people have always presented reports with some pictures and that. So lines are actually used when you want to present items that are changing. So like I stated earlier on, you want to check distribution, how things are distributed across the place, or you want to compare as well. So when you are doing all of those, lines are best used for, like line charts are frequently used charts. It's there are one of those charts that are best, just a moment, that are best suited for trend. Okay, you want to see how things changes. And then one of the things you need to do when you want to use line is ensure that you don't have so much points on your lines. When you have so many points and in between, it becomes very scattered because you can have different types of line. You can, just a moment, please. So in a situation where your lines are unnecessarily much, it gives you that please hold on, I'm having one or two challenges here. Hello? Wally, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what I was saying is, so line makes it easy to be able to show different trends and how different trends happens with respect to what you're trying to present. So you were trying to say that, okay, the sales report slopes from right to left or it increases over a period of time. Line gives you that advantage to be able to do comparison and as well as to be able to show trends. Let's move forward. We'll come back to what's called. We also have what is called area charts. It's essentially area charts are essentially line charts. They are good for trends and also for comparison. Area chart will fill up the area below the line. Okay, so you have drawn a line and then you want to be able to fill up the areas below that line. Area charts will be able to fill up that.
Hello, Balaji, your audio is off. Can't hear you anymore. Hello, Balaji. Hello, Balaji. Hello, Balaji, we can't hear you anymore. Bolaji, we can't hear you anymore. Okay, so sorry for that. I think Bolaji internet just went off. So let me just share my screen in order to continue from where he stopped, right? Because Bolaji is the kind of person that we actually work together a lot, and I guess he's having difficulty with his internet. Okay, so basically Bolaji is talking about line chart, right? And line chart is actually very, very excellent, especially when you are talking about visualization. Line chart it's extremely excellent. Because when you're trying to talk about trend, you should know that you have your line chart first. You're talking about trend, your line chart will definitely come up first. In fact, let me just show you a line chart right now, right? I'm just going to share a line chart with you right now, and you're going to see how efficient line chart can be, especially when you are working with a data that have years, right? Okay, so I guess Bolaji is here. I guess your internet is fluctuating, guys. Are you here now?
Yes, can you hear me, Wale?
Yes, we can hear you now. You were off for like 10 minutes. We could not hear anything.
Yes, I'm sorry. My network where I am is quite far from home. But
okay, so that's fine. Can you share your screen again? I was trying to just present on your behalf, but you can share your screen again.
Thank you. Sorry, just a moment. I'm coming. It's coming up. Okay, please just go ahead while I.
Okay.
I think my internet is still messing up a little.
Okay, so I guess we were talking about line chart. So I was trying to display a line chart, and also in a line chart, you should always make sure that your line chart look perfect. And one of the things is that every chart that show trend must always start from 0, just like what Bolaji said. Make sure your line start from 0. You can make sure your line look nice like this. You are basically using your line chart for trend. Anything aside from trend, because most of us find it difficult when you're trying to use a category data at a line chart. Maybe you have a data of region and you have southwest, northwest, northeast, and you're trying to use line chart for that. No, line chart is best suitable for a trend. Anytime you're not using a trend or you're not trying to present a trend, don't use line chart. So Bolaji, are you ready now?
Yeah, I think my system is up. Can you see my screen, Wale?
Okay, so let me see if I can see that. Okay, yeah, I can. So you are on now. You are live. Hello, Bolaji, you are live. Hello, Bolaji. Hello, Bolaji, are you there? Bolaji, are you there? Hello, Bolaji, we can't hear you. I think Bolaji is off again. Are you here, Bolaji? Hello? Okay, so I guess Bolaji is off again, guys. So sorry for that. You know, Nigeria bandwidth, sometimes our internet is not that stable in Nigeria. We are all just trying to manage our internet. Okay, so I was talking about line chart, right? So that's where Bolaji stopped. Then also, Bolaji mentioned that you can also use an area chart, right? Area chart is also excellent, especially when you are trying to do a lot of trend as well. You can use it for trend as well. You can use it for composition and the likes. So let me show you one area chart in our in Power BI, right? If I go to my Power BI, you see area chart here. Area chart here. You can see that the area chart is also more or less like line chart, but they also give this kind of beautification to your report. You can see the area chart here. They give some kind of beautification to your report. You can see it. So this is still the same thing close to what I have earlier in line chart, but this is actually area chart and it's actually visualizing it better. Hello, Bolaji, are you here now?
Yes, I'm back up. I was about contacting privately.
Okay,
I
please
think there's
share
an
your
issue with me
share
sharing when I try.
Are you there, Bolaji? Hello, Bolaji. Bolaji, we can't hear you anymore. Hello.
Can you see me now? I think it's shared already.
Okay, so let me see that.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, it's shared.
I am here. I
Yeah,
can see you.
my
Can you
picture.
see me?
Minimize my picture so you can continue your presentation.
Hello, Ali?
Yes, I can hear you, Bolaji.
I can see you. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Please minimize my picture. It's showing live so you can continue your presentation.
Can you hear me clear?
Yes, I can hear you, Bolaji.
Okay, so sorry to everyone. I think I am actually in the place trying to manage the network. I sincerely apologize for this. I'm so sorry. However, where we stopped, we're trying to talk about line charts, then area charts. Line chart just shows us the beauty of how trends goes. It shows you how things changes. It's going up, it's going down, it's going up, left. Basically, when you look at so many economic reports that are telling you about inflations, they're trying to compare what happened within some years back, the trend of like certain period of time. Probably you want to show how your sales moves within different months, January, February, March. And at the same time, you want to be able to, the area chart simply shows you that, okay, it's also a trend thing, but it gives you that cover up that makes it look a bit fuller. So that's what the difference between that area chart and then line chart shows. I don't know if that was where I was earlier, right, Wally?
Yes. Yes, Bolaji. Hello, Bolaji, you are off again. Bolaji, you are off again. Hello, Bolaji. So sorry, guys. I guess Bolaji is facing a lot of internet difficulties today. I think I should just continue from here.
Okay, so another beautiful thing that I've always loved is the pie chart. You want to do things, you want to how this is why primary or secondary school is when we try to. Hello? Shit. Hello?
I can hear you, Bolaji. Please continue.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I think the network was really messing me up. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I was talking about pie charts. Those dark round donut-like shape thing we use mostly when we're doing our everyday mathematics. We're trying to show the volume, the percentages of, or we want to show that degrees within a 360 degrees circle. Those days they tell us that when you divide the circle into two, it gives you 180 each and all that. So the pie chart simply shows you composition of things. But a lot of the time is somebody will say, but why would I use my pie chart? I've always loved my pie chart. Yes, it's not like it's not good enough for you to use your pie chart, but I think it is better if you can present checking composition. It's better if you can check your composition, use some other charts like your bar chart, like your column chart, to be able to present, because sometimes when you have too many data within your pie chart, it makes it look clumsy and some people are not able to interpret it. Well, look at this. This is fair enough. But look at this, it gives a lot of people a lot of headache, and then they are looking, what is it saying? But if you come into the feed where you have a lot of professionals, they will say, oh fine, I understand what it's saying. This is simple enough. But if you come here where you have your column chart standing in from your bar chart, standing in for your pie chart, you see that it makes it much more easy and everyone stands on their own. Next is your scattered chart. Now, scatter chart simply for us to show, okay, composition as well, or you're trying to show where this is. You have like a map, and then you want to say you have, I don't know if some of us have seen the present days, the way COVID-19 report is being done. You see a lot of scatter charts, bubbles, and others. They're showing that, okay, Lagos has certain, they will use color to say Lagos has a certain count. They will go to another state and say this color red shows that this state is dangerous, green shows this is mild, but it's still getting better. Scatter chart is actually very, very powerful for correlation distribution, showing relationship between two different variables or even more. You can actually show data distribution or clustering of things and help you spot anomalies and outliers. You want to know that when you see a report that shows Lassa fever spread across the country, then where you see place that is very red, this place is lying out, the hot spot. We need to check. We need to be able to ensure that we manage what is going on here appropriately. Scatter charts can also, like I said, it can show data distribution and clustering trends, and it's helping to spot anomalies. A good example is when you are doing market spending versus revenue, like I stated, or in this place now, you're looking at sales. I don't know if you can see this very well. Look at what Osun has here. With scatter plot, it shows you Osun is in a region called Southwest. It's made 62 million. You have transaction count of this. You have change month on month is about 0%, or year you have 2015. This is as at June. Same thing will come up when you're looking at Ogun, and then you go across each by just pointing your cursor. You're able to see what is happening in each of these states using your scattered plot. So it helps you to be able to present variable and then spot outliers and then anomalies across your reports. In summary, there are some certain things we need to do. Look at, that's fine. I didn't even know we could come this far. Anyway, fine. First is time axis. So when you're creating your charts, you always have an axis that shows your time. It's very, very important to put your time on the horizontal axis. What am I saying? You want to compare events of years versus volume of sales. It's better to put, it's always very, very good to put your time on horizontal axis and let it start from the first date. Most especially if you're using, let's say, January to month of the year, starts from January. If you're using maybe from within a particular 10 years range, start from the first year. You can't say, okay, I don't really have anything happening in the first year, so you just take it off totally and start from year 2. And then when somebody's asking, where is year 1? You say, no, there's nothing happening in year 1. But always ensure you start from the first. It should run from left to right and not the other way around. From left to right, so that it can slope outward from left to right. Because if you have to take your year from right to left, and then if it is coming into your margin, which is your zero axis, your margin, if you still have other parts to present, it gives you a lot of issues. So always ensure that when you're creating your time axis on the chart, it runs from left to right horizontally. Do not skip. Okay, I've said something about not skipping values, even if there are no values. Okay, you started 0, then because you know that within 5, 2, and 5 there was nothing, you just scrapped it and then moved 0 and then 10, and then you then went into 15 or you went into 11. If you want to do a count of 10s, you do a count of 10s. If you want to do a count of 5s, or you want to do 1, 2, 3, ensure that the sequence of arrangement is the same and evenly distributed. Also, you want to have what is something we call data integration. I was talking about having a particular page, and then you have so many colors. Some people don't really like colors so much. They like it very, very simple. So let's be careful of that. That are the volume of data we have to the volume of ink that you are presenting. So let's minimize colors as much as possible. Sorting, by sorting, we're looking at the fact that you're sorting your data either in ascending or descending order by the value, not alphabetically, especially when you're using pie charts. For column and bar charts, to enable easier comparison, it's better to sort in ascending or descending order. Let me show you what I mean by that. Here we are. No, excuse me. Okay. So you can see here, you can sort descending or you can sort in ascending order. So it's a function of what you actually intend to present. Let's do the same with our column bar charts as well. You can either sort in descending or you sort in ascending order. So you can see it shows you either these things are rising up or it's coming down. It's not good enough to say this one rose, this one came down, it rose, it came down. So you need to be concise and choose a particular precise position as to how you want your data presented. So let's look at this when it is going in ascending order. You can see it keeps coming from 6.5 to 9.4, 10.5, 12.4, or you can decide to say as it descends. So that is sorting. Either it comes from the top down or it goes from the lowest up. So that is your sorting. Labels. It's always good to use your labels directly on the column, on the lines, your column, your bar, and pie chart. Whenever possible, try to avoid indirect lookup. What do we mean by indirect lookup? Okay, let's just a moment. Now here, we're saying that for this line chart as they progress, you're seeing the labels on them. However, we can simply bring all of these values and leave them at the axis. What does it do is that for someone who is trying to read this, the person might be needing a ruler to be able to go, and then is indirectly I'm saying, oh, how far, how wide. However, when you put your labels on them, it makes it quite easy for whoever is seeing this to be able to read meanings to this and appreciate the beauty of what you have. Oh, we have just 2 minutes before we get into the question and answer session, but just a moment, I'm sure we are almost up. Colors. Like I stated earlier on, we need to be careful. Do not use more than 6 colors. And then for colors, you need to understand color separations. Keep them palette or styles for charts in the series. Ensure that they are simple enough. Don't use more. If you're not presenting more than, there's no point in using red. If you're not presenting that, okay, this L, well, you can use red if you are saying that if you have your scatter plot and you're trying to say that this place is in danger zone. But if you're just presenting a business report that says, oh, things have gone, this is how how our business have gone, we need to be careful of color. But in a situation where you want to say, oh, this place is total black, we need to work on this. So color is just a way to present events as it happens, but we need to be careful and not to use too much colors. Then don't use too much colors within the same axis. You have a particular axis, you have different colors upon that axis, and then it's looking like a masquerade attire of some sort. We need to be careful with that. What do we mean by legend? Legend simply means that your representation. So if you are having just one data, you really don't need a legend on your one data category, but if you have so much, then you can actually put your legend. Because simply looking at how complex the data is. So for it not have one vein, if necessary and if possible, you can split your data into two different charts. you can do I want to put 6-7 different reports on a screen. Another thing is unnecessary interaction between you want to make these reports to be interacting with another report. Unnecessary any interactions you know that are not really important for you, do not put them on your report. So tell the story on screen. Ensure that you remove unnecessary visuals. Ensure you use the best of colors, not something too clumsy that people can't really understand. People are getting scared and all of that. And I'm sure with this, you'll be able to present some of the best reports you think you can. Wally, I think can we give room for questions and answer now?
Yes,
Can
you
you hear
can
me, Wally?
continue. You can finish your slide. Just finish your slide. I think you're almost done. Yeah.
Yes,
You still have
I'm
like
actually
15
done
minutes.
with mine.
Okay.
Uh,
We're
I'm
done.
done with my with my slide for now. It's just to hear if we
Thank
have
you so much.
feedback,
Thank you
questions,
so much,
answers.
Bolaji. Thank you so much, Bolaji. And that is a beautiful presentation. Just like I guess it's just the issue of
Apologies for
internet,
my
and
network.
it's actually Nigeria,
Apologies.
so our bandwidth sometimes. So maybe next time we are just basically going to improve on our
I have
internet so
no
that we
excuse.
don't bore our audience, right? So thank you so much, Bolaji, for that interesting session. And I'm sure that people have questions for you already about best practice in visualizing data. Please, do you have any question for Bolaji? Kindly put it in chat. Best practice for visualizing data. What did you think? Which question did you think you have? Because for me, I've learned a lot. I can remember I learned Dr. CC, right? I never heard that before, and it was like, wow, amazing. And that big picture that you show us too is very, very interesting. It really shows how people can analyze their data quickly without stress. And color too. I find color too a bit challenging because I always see a lot of dashboard on LinkedIn, on Twitter and the likes. I always see people using different colors. In fact, some people can use almost 20 color in a dashboard. Right? So we just need to be conscious of color, like Bolaji said. So thank you so much for that, Bolaji. Please, if you have any question for Bolaji, now is the time to ask your question. So Bolaji can actually treat those questions now. If you have any question for Bolaji, please ask. Please ask your question. If you have any question for Bolaji will be glad to ask. We still have like 13 minutes for people to ask their question. We still have like 13 minutes for people to ask their question. Please send your question to the chat if you don't have any question. Thank you so much for joining us for this section. We really appreciate. So next, in our next section, which is definitely going to be, let me check the date, which is definitely going to be on the 1st of August, right? That's our next 2 weeks. On the 1st of August, we are bringing another interesting speaker to you, right? And it's going to be speaking a lot about visualization and some other things as well. But thank you so much for joining us on this section. If you have any question, please drop it in chat. We are still here and we'll be glad to just attend to your question. Thank you so much, Bolaji. Or did you have anything to say to our audience, just to any other last word?
Okay, Wally, can you hear me now? I think I lost network earlier on.
Yes,
I'm back now.
I can.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to say quite well is there's an advice I got in the early days, and my manager would say, don't over analyze. Sometimes we get into trouble because we wanted to bring some excessive details. We wanted to bring the best. We wanted to bring all of these print out this, bring out that, and all other things. And in trying to do that, sometimes we get into challenges. So one of the things I would like is always ensure you present the data that is necessary. Don't bring in ambiguities. You might want to over impress. Some people are just very good with saying the data as information as simple as possible. So keep it short and simple. Make sure it's precise. Tell your story. Go straight to the point. And I think you would be able to do a good job. Thank you very much, Wally, for having me around. Apologies for all of the network flip-flops. I'm so sorry, please.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Bolaji. So if you have any question for Bolaji, please drop it in chat. We will be logging off in the next 10 minutes. We'll be logging off. Thank you so much, Bolaji. If you have any question for Bolaji, guys, please kindly ask Bolaji. Okay, so I think I saw a question already. It's not really a question. Somebody said, color sometimes gives somebody headache. Well, that can be true. Color sometimes may give you a headache, but don't allow color to give you headache. When you don't know what to use something simple. When you are not sure of what to use, right? Use something simple. So there's something called neutral color, right? So for me, I believe I like just neutral color. You can just stay with um, just maybe black and white
Something
and black.
like
So for me, I
gray,
like
yes, white, black and white, and all that. Can you hear me, Wally?
yeah. Okay,
Okay,
so somebody just asked a question on chat, Bolaji. So Sandra, thank you so much for that question. So Sandra said, hands on, how to build a dashboard that one like the one that Bolaji display. So how did you build that dashboard that the one like Bolaji display? So somebody's asking, can they build that same dashboard that you display today?
yes, you can. Anybody can build a dashboard. Everybody can build a dashboard, but it's another process entirely. It's not. You might need to. So I don't know. I'm sure that an average of okay, probably what we should do, really, some other time is look at how people will be able to build dashboard. Maybe we'll make that another topic for another time entirely. But you can't build the dashboard. Yes, anybody, everybody can build a dashboard.
Okay, so thank you so much, Bolaji, and thank you, Sandra, for asking that question. So basically, building dashboard is extremely easy. So for me, I find dashboard the most easiest thing to do in Power BI, right? Because it's just by you just dragging and dropping, and you can see that what the dashboard that Bolaji built basically is just showing some line charts, showing some stuff. But we can organize another session on from zero to dashboard. So that section will just basically be we getting the data and we are practicing with our community. So we get the data we can pick any data from online, then we present it to you guys. Then it's possible that we are going to send the data to you as well and the dashboard, then you are going to use it to practice. Right? Okay, so Sandra, you want to learn. Thank you so much, Sandra. You are already on our Telegram group. Thank you so much for joining us. So we are going just stay tuned. We are going to bring up another section very soon that is very interesting on Power BI. Then I can see a question from Abiodun too. So Abiodun said, I'm just learning Power BI. I need a mentor. Okay, so Abiodun, so all I would just advise is that always join the community and you're already part of us. Thank you for joining us. You're already part of us already. So there'll be a lot of stuff that will be putting online for you to just go and practice on. So just join the community. A lot of people are putting a lot of things up that you can just learn from. And then we can put a lot of material up for you to also practice as well. Right, for you to practice as well. So thank you so much for asking that question. So Sandra, building a dashboard is easy. It's just for you to follow
I didn't
the
get the
process.
question, sorry.
Yep.
You were saying someone asked the question, but I didn't get the question, right?
Okay, the question is it's not really like a question. It's just that somebody that said he wants a mentor. So I said they can always join the community. So Sandra, just watch out for the section I'm talking about from zero to dashboard, right? Anytime you see that section from zero to dashboard is an hands-on section. So where you can connect to data, bring it in, then do a lot of things, right? So thank you so much for that, Sandra. Really appreciate it. So we have 7 more minutes to close this section. If anybody asks any question, you can still ask. I'm going to post our Telegram group. So just in case you are not on the Telegram group, for those that are not there, so I'll post the Telegram group right now. So you guys can join us on Telegram and also on WhatsApp as well. In case you want to join on WhatsApp as well. So I'll post I just post the Telegram group now, and you can also join the WhatsApp as well. We are on WhatsApp as well. So let me just post the WhatsApp link as well. Right, so I just post the two to the chat. So just check it in the chat and connect with us on Instagram, on Telegram and WhatsApp. Okay, so Sandra said, can you check that, Balaji? So she said she do have issue with building a dashboard like chart to use. She don't really understand which kind of chart can she use and the like. So can you give more light on that?
When she wants to build a dashboard, the kind of chart you use is a function of what you're trying to do. And I think that's basically what we've been talking about. So the kind of chart you use is, are you trying to get composition of things? Are you trying to show distribution? Are you trying to show comparison? So I think it's a function of what you are actually trying to say, the information you want to pass out, the story you want to tell. Column charts, bar charts, your scattered plots, your lines, your areas. So the basic thing is you need to understand the story you want to tell. So when you know what you're about saying, and then another thing is you also need to understand your audience. You might be a professional, your audience might not be as professional as you are. So you need to understand your audience and not just show your prowess, but be sure that they are able to read and make meanings of what you want to do. So the kind of charts you choose is a function of the story you want to tell, the kind of audience you have, and the people that are going to use it, what exactly it is to be used for as well. I think I've answered that earlier.
Thank you so much, Bolaji. So I guess to get that, Sandra, so it depends on the kind of things that you want to do, that based on the charts that you use. And I think Bolaji made a justice to composition, distribution, trend. When you want to do a trend, you use line charts. When you just want to show a category, you use column chart or bar chart. So all those normal regular rules, right? You just have it in your head somewhere that when I'm doing a trend, I need a line chart. When I'm doing a category, I need this. When I'm trying to show a composition, distribution, and the rest, I need a scatter chart, right? Thank you so much, Balaji, for that question, for answering that question. Okay, so we have.
So she said also which features to add to make my charts informative. Features to make them informative, I think it's still a function of the same thing. It speaks to you, it speaks to what you want to do, it speaks to who you are getting across. Okay, let me give you a real life example. There are certain reports when I present to my direct report, that's my own direct manager, he would understand. A lot of the times we might have sat down together to prepare the report. So within us, it is clear. So there are certain legends I'll put there, and he knows that, okay, this is that because we both worked on it. But when we are now taking that report further to the next level, it tells you and says, these ones are SSs, they are not supposed to be there. So remove this, remove that. Oh, this has to be a little bit much more explained. You might need to put a little story behind this. So features a lot of the time are a function of who you are dealing with, what you want to get across, and some other information. So a lot of the time storytelling is a function of your audience, a function of your audience, a function of your audience. Always know that, and then what you want to say out. Everybody?
Thank you so much, Balaji, for that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Thank you so much. So join us next time on the 1st of August. So we are bringing another interesting section to you as well on the 1st of August. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, right? Thank you so much. Now we are bringing this section to an end. Thank you so much.
Okay, Wally, thank you very much for your time.